Hello everyone and welcome to another top 5 records video. And today I'm going to be talking about the 5 best albums from, in my opinion, one of the biggest voices in the recorded history of music. Yeah, that may sound like an exaggeration, especially since a lot of people may not have heard his voice, but of all the records I've heard, of all the voices I've heard, this one has been staying with me for about the past 15, 16, 17 years as one of the truly greatest I've ever heard. I'm talking about Ronnie James Dio. And for the people who are not familiar with him, Ronnie James Dio is perhaps the biggest influence on the world of hard rock and heavy metal ever. He is a very brilliantly trained vocalist, and sadly he passed away a couple of years ago. I believe 10, 11 years, I believe it's 2012. I'm not sure about that. I was lucky enough to see him live with his band Dio, and I got into him when I started singing in bands, and we did covers of Deep Purple, Rainbow, Black Sabbath, and even some Dio songs. So for me personally, he is an incredible inspiration, and I've been listening to his voice loads of times. So right now I have my 5 favorite Ronnie James Dio albums. I'm gonna kick the list off with this one. As a matter of fact, I'm kicking it off with a fan favorite. The album Rising. Rising is a favorite amongst Rainbow fans, and it's got a lot to do with one special track on here. The entire album is good, but there's one that, no, alright, Do You Close Your Eyes is a really good song. Starstruck and Terror Woman are good as well. This is actually a pretty good album. Now, the highlight for me is Stargazer. Stargazer with an orchestra in the back and Ronnie James Dio's voice in the front. I mean, you can't deny that there is an operatic quality to what this man is doing. If you think, the cover and everything, this might be a bit too hard rock, heavy metal for me, give this album a shot, because it's all about melody and a certain energy. And what Ronnie James Dio does here, Stargazer, the way he starts off a sentence with the full burst and the glorious full sound, it is awesome. You can, by the way, easily find very good reissues of this album. I've got a first UK here. I compared it to the 2014 Universal pressing. I believe it's even a back-to-black pressing, and the difference is not so big. I prefer this one slightly, but it's a good pressing. Although Richie Blackmore said that he didn't like the entire sound and the entire mixing of it, so he suggested in an interview that lots of the Rainbow albums should be remixed and remastered. So, and I think he's right, because there's not a lot of low in there. But on number 4, not a Rainbow record, a Black Sabbath record. Now, this must have been a challenge even for Ronnie James Dio. I mean, Black Sabbath had an iconic face and an iconic voice. And although you might not recognize Ozzy Osbourne for his great vocals, try and sing them. The guy did incredible things. I mean, he wasn't the most inventive with melodies. He basically followed the guitar very often. But his power, his energy, and his personality, I mean, that is a tough combination, and it's a tough act to follow. Ronnie James Dio made it entirely his own and made a record like Black Sabbath hadn't made in years. Heaven and Hell is amongst the best Black Sabbath albums. And, I mean, if you take a look at the songs here, Neon Nights, Children of the Sea, Heaven and Hell, Wishing Well, so many great songs. I mean, this is just number 4 on the list, but this Dio is just all over the place in quality. It has, again, a certain operatic element in heavy metal, and it's, or just metal, how you want to call it. It's awesome. Ronnie James Dio is awesome on this one. And everyone, by the way, in the record. And number 3, I'm moving again towards a Rainbow album. Long Live Rock and Roll. Now, this was the Rainbow album, well, at least of the studio albums, the one I listened to the most. I got this for my birthday, and I think some people might be shocked to find this one even above Heaven and Hell. But mind you, to start off an album with Long Live Rock and Roll, which is a clean, straight on rocker. It's a good opener. It's a straightforward, good banger of a song with a very nice soul and essence to there. You don't have a lot of songs like Long Live Rock and Roll. Pure, straightforward, a challenge, awesome song. Lady of the Lake, nice power ballad. LA Connection, love that one. Gates of Babylon, epic, epic, epic rocker. Can't stress enough how good the first side even just is. And then you go to the second side, Kill the King. Masterpiece of hard rock. Sensible to Light and Rainbow Eyes. Gorgeous ballad. This is a masterpiece of an album. Do not deny it. I mean, try and find one. I've got a US pressing and it's smoking hot. Real. It sounds awesome. Number 2. You know, the best Ronnie James Dio albums are the ones with loads and loads of recognizable hits. And this is from his solo band, Dio. Holy Diver. Put this on, you're not putting it off. One of the cleanest, best efforts made in the world of metal, in my regard. I mean, this album has, just looking at the first side, Stand Up and Shout. Great song, good song. Then, Holy Diver, You've Been Down Too Long with the Midnight Sea. So good, so good. Gypsy, God in the Middle, and then to end of side one with Don't Talk to Strangers. These all became live classics, 80s classics. You know, I've even had occasions when in Germany you just walk into a hard rock bar or a rock bar, and the first thing you hear are songs from this first side. I mean, this shit is big. And then on the second side you even have a song like Rainbow in the Dark. Same thing. So many masterpieces. Such an awesome album. On number 2 spot of best Ronnie James Dio albums. Now, what am I going to put in the number 1 spot? The album in which I find his voice most impressive. And that is a live album. And one of my most played records of all time. Rainbow on Stage. Rainbow on Stage is one of the ultimate live albums. I put it in my list of live albums among the Who live at Leeds, Deep Purple Made in Japan. This is incredible. And for about a decade, this has been one of the records that I play almost on a weekly basis with friends when we're drinking to end off the evening with a bit of Ronnie James Dio and the most incredible voice you've ever heard live recorded. I mean, side 2 and side 3 are just 2 songs, and those are the ones I've played most. Catch the Rainbow. It's incredible what the band is doing here and what Dio is doing here. And Mistreated, which is a cover of the Deep Purple song, but hey, Richie Blackmore. You know, I love Coverdale's performance on there, and it's awesome what Coverdale did on the original. But Ronnie James Dio makes you forget about Coverdale and Deep Purple. That's also, by the way, what he says before he introduced the song. I forget the name of the band, of the original song. That's not just it, man. It opens with Kill the King. Bam! Straight into your guts. Man on the Silver Mountain. And Starstruck. And it ends off with 16th Century Greensleeve and Still I'm Sad. Holy smoke. This is good. It's really good. Those are my 5 favorite Ronnie James Dio albums. I'm curious, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.